Kind of Preps, where we talk about the things that you need to know, things you need to be concerned with. What's the latest conspiracy theory? Have you heard? The Twitter files. We've all been seeing it over and over again everywhere. Elon firing everybody, Elon doing this, Elon doing that. But it gets better. It gets so much freaking better. But why should we care, okay? Why should we care? Here is why we need to care. The FBI involvement, okay, in this is astounding. Now, did I suspect personally? I knew that the government's using social media and has been using social media. It became clear in 2020, end of 2019, into 2020, when the pandemic hit, when the shutdowns began, it became very clear to me. The misinformation that is spread, the government control on social media, and it's all of them. It isn't just one. So don't think it's just Twitter. It is not just Twitter. You know, and before I go into anything else, you can go to the All In podcast, ALLIN. I will put a link, below in the description so you can find this. Elon was interviewed recently on this podcast. Let's just hear, okay, what he has to say about it before we even go any further, okay?
The Twitter files. How much longer are these going to go on? It seems like every week another drop, and these are pretty controversial. How much longer are the Twitter files going to go on in your mind? Yeah. And maybe why is this important to you to make sure that people understand the stuff? Yeah.
I think it's important to, if we're going to be trusted in the future, to kind of clear the decks for stuff that's happened in the past. So, to be totally frank, almost every conspiracy theory that people had about Twitter turned out to be true. Is there a conspiracy theory about Twitter that didn't turn out to be true? So far, they've all turned out to be true.
Yeah.
And if not, more true than people thought.
Is there a part of the files that really shocked you more than the rest of them? Like, of the things that have been disclosed? Of all of these things, is there something that really sticks out with you as like, holy shit, I had no idea this was happening? Or is the whole thing just a big dumpster fire? They were just
a big dumpster
looking at one
fire,
huge thing.
for sure.
Like PSYOPs versus the Hunter Biden thing versus the...
Yeah.
The number of FBI people involved, that was
The
pretty
FBI
shocking.
stuff is pretty intense.
Yeah, the FBI PSYOP stuff to me was probably the one that was the most insidious.
shocking.
Like, the rest of it I could think of like, a bunch of overzealous libs got used.
Yeah.
Got it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But to have like a secure skiff that essentially sends things that, government agents want the populace to basically think.
The FBI paid Twitter over $3 million in reimbursements for the work that Twitter did for the FBI. That work consisted of censoring information, shadow banning particular accounts, flagging satire as if it was real information. So basically spreading misinformation. And then the list goes on.
It seems like out of a really bad dystopian novel. And then it turns out it existed.
It did exist.
And then it also, the thing is, it couldn't have just existed at Twitter. So what are we going to do about all the other places where this shit's happening?
YouTube, Facebook,
Yeah.
That's why
Right.
it none of it seemed that surprising to me. I don't know, maybe I just believed all the conspiracy theories, but I've also been inside some of these companies and seen how they operate. So honestly, none of it was a surprise to me. Was it a big shock to you?
It absolutely was not a surprise to me. Now, I have worked in the government sector for half of my adult life, and I'm fully aware of the strings that can be pulled, okay? So the fact that the FBI and the White House came in and are using, to this day, are using the social media platforms to affect what we think, how we feel about things is not shocking at all.
Wait. You Freeberg, you were. I think you can claim that you weren't surprised that these companies were shadow banning, although they denied it. But did you really suspect that the FBI was playing a role in flagging content for these companies to take down? That blew me away.
Content that's got nothing to do with like terrorism.
Yeah, they're not investigating crimes. Like, there's no crime.
Right.
Yeah, they literally flagged satire.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't get the joke. I don't know, but
They don't seem to be a humor-driven group, but they don't seem to have the best senses of humor. But aren't they supposed to get warrants? Isn't that how it's supposed to work in a democracy? They want information
they're
about
asking
users.
favors of
They
their
file.
friends. Yeah, they're all friends.
That's the thing that's troubling to me. Put yourself on either side.
Amazing, utterly amazing. And like I said, you can find this interview at the All-in-One podcast. Apple.com, I know, has that podcast. Quite interesting. Okay, quite interesting. Also, let me show you this. You can go to unga.substack.com. Okay, and you can download all 11 have been released so far, PDFs of the Twitter files. And just so you know, let's see, Twitter file release number 1 from Matt Tabby, release number 2, Barry Weiss. That's the secret blacklist. Okay. There was a blacklist. You could pay the FBI. This is part of what they reimbursed for. Pay to get specific accounts put on a blacklist, okay? The removal of Donald Trump has parts 1, 2, and 3 on that one. The FBI subsidiary that you'll find in release 6, the FBI and the Hunter Biden laptop, release number 7. How Twitter quietly aided the Pentagon's covert online PSYOP. That's release number 8. Again, I'll have this link in the description. You can look these up and read them yourself, and there will be more coming out. Now, why do you care? Why do you care? Because even our news stations, even our local news stations, get their information from places like Twitter and other social media platforms. And this proves the misinformation that these platforms are used. They are used to control the public's thinking. They're used to control what the public knows, what the public sees. This is why it is so important to use discernment, okay? Especially when we're online, especially when we're dealing with these social media platforms. If you see a video, if you see, even seeing a video, you can't hardly trust anymore. But if you read something, look it up, do further research. Don't just take their word for it, okay? This is why Elon is doing this. Elon said when he took Twitter over, and I don't care what you think about him, okay? It's irrelevant what you think about him. When he took over Twitter, he said he was out to prove, okay, that the truth is being suppressed. And that's exactly what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. He went in, he cleaned house, and now he's releasing all of it, okay? So, Zucky boy, we all know how the government's playing him, right? Like a freaking fiddle. Anyway, look it up. Check it out. Elon Musk. I'll have both links, all 3 links actually, down below, okay? And you can research those yourself. But anyway, don't be scared. Be prepared. Be educated. Don't be a sheep. Okay, don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything you see. Everything is not good, okay? Everything is not good at all. And it's time we wake up. It's time we wake up. It's time we take responsibility, okay, for our lives. They don't care. They don't care, okay? Trump is an obvious problem, but he is really the least of our problems. He's going nowhere. But if we want to sit here and think that the current administration is on our side, no. They don't care. They don't care. So anyway, educate yourself. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Nana Prep out.